Yeah, as soon as I started filming, I realized the gel fell off. But you know what? I'm going to keep it there because this channel is raw and real and it's not fake. Only a faker daker would put the gel back on. Today we're talking about the 5 love languages. And no, I'm not talking about French. I'm talking about the system that has come out of the very popular book called The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. And, 5 love languages, registered trademark. Is there something to it, or is it just a big marketing scam? I think maybe there's something to it. So I took the test. I'm going to put the link to take the test down in the description. And I just want to go through with you the order of my 5 love languages. French isn't one of them. I want to see what you all get as well. And then just talk about them a little bit and how I think they fit in my life. So first of all, basically the 5 love languages are these 5. I mean, it's self-explanatory once I get into it. But it's like, how do you express love and how do you like love to be expressed to you? Not just romantic relationships, though I feel like that's the one that they peddle the most because that's where the money is. But also, your friends and your family and so on and so forth. So I'm going to start in with my lowest number and the one that I use the least, the love language, and then go to the main one. And my prediction is that most of you are going to have the same main love language as me. That's how well I know my audience. That's how kindred we are. So the lowest one, the lowest love language. Why am I so intense when I'm talking about this? The whole thing, a quick side tangent, the whole love languages thing, I'm not a fan of the nomenclature here. It sounds a little bit like it's not being marketed towards me, a guy, a very masculine man, clearly. And so love languages, can we think of something? I mean, who am I to say? It's already very successful. They've made a lot of money off of it, but where am I even going with this? Physical touch is the lowest one I have, the lowest love language. I don't like to be touched. So no, that's not what it is. I think the way that test works is it compares 2 different things at once, 2 different love languages, and it just is like getting a hug from someone, getting a pat on the back, doesn't matter that much to me compared with other ways that you could show affection. And I don't know if it's just because maybe it is partially I'm not a fan of hands all over me, or if it's more like I just don't see that high of a value in it. I'm not sure. I am not sure. Before we continue, why don't we take a quick commercial break? Sign up today at thelovelanguage.biz and learn the love language of le français from Maurice Chevalier today. OMG, his Maurice Chevalier voice was so bad, I unsubscribed. No regrets. Thanks for sitting through that. So then the next highest one is acts of service. I really don't like the name of this, acts of service. It sounds like I've got to put on my Boy Scout uniform and I'm going to be picking up trash in front of your house. And that's what the act of service is. But basically what it is you're helping someone out with something that you didn't have to. So if a friend comes over and helps you, install your new lighting fixture, that is an act of service because they didn't have to help you out. They could have just said, F off, I'm not helping you. But they helped you. And, I really like it when people help me out, but I think the reason why it's not higher for me is because I don't like to impose on other people. And so when people do acts of service for me, when they help me out doing stuff, I feel bad and I feel like I owe them one. And it just seems like there's too much of a transaction involved. Maybe it's just because I can't truly love anyone because I always look at it like like a transaction. Yeah. Who knew that the 5 love languages could be so depressing? All right, so above acts of service, this is my third one. Words of affirmation. So I guess that's like compliments and saying, good job, buddy. You did a great job. I mean, and here's the thing is like, I am all about praise and I need affirmation and I need approval from everyone around me. But I guess it's not higher on the list because... So I'm not sure why it's not higher on the list. Maybe it's just because maybe I can't take a compliment. That's maybe what it is. When my friends and family tell me stuff like, hey man, that was good. You're really good at that. I'm like, no, don't tell me that. I'm not good at anything. And once again, it's why I can't love anybody. So then the number 2 thing, so going backwards, so this is the second highest thing that I value, the love language. I am putting this sentence together in the most fractured way possible, is receiving gifts. And actually, when I took the test, I thought receiving gifts was going to be number 1, but it was number 2. I don't expect gifts from people, and I'm not like a materialist, but just, I don't know, to me, when you receive something from someone, then you have a physical reminder of them, of the occasion, and it's just easier for me to find significance in something that like exists in the physical world. You know what I mean? And so when you look at a gift that someone gave you, it doesn't have to be anything great, but it just, it reminds you of them, and it symbolizes the relationship. And I also, the thing is with me giving gifts, I put a lot of pressure on myself to do it, and sometimes I psych myself out. I want gifts that I get for other people to be really meaningful, but I guess I overthink it, because when I think back on like some of the best gifts I've ever gotten, they were thoughtful and meaningful, but they weren't like crazy. It wasn't like that out of the box. Sometimes it's just like, hey, I know you like Coke Zero, so I got you a shirt that says Coke Zero on it. That was just something I pulled out of my brain. It wasn't a very good example, but you know what I mean? It's just like, gifts show that you know someone, like you understand them, and it just lasts, I mean, for the most part, unless you get them like popcorn, then it doesn't last. But anyway. All right, so then my number 1 love language, and if you know the love languages, you know what this is already because there's only one left, and that is quality time. And my bet is that 75% of you, if not more, got quality time as your number 1. The reason I guess that is because I know a lot of you are INFJs, and there's some statistic somewhere that someone did that says this is what most INFJs say is their number 1. It's most meaningful to me when someone takes their precious time to interact with me, because, I mean, part of it might also be like I'm so down on myself all the time, that when someone thinks it's worth their time to spend time with me, it's just meaningful. It just means a lot. I don't know. And the thing is, I really value just time with people. It doesn't have to be structured or anything. And I hate it when, you are trying to hang out with some friends or something, and then they like turn the TV on or something. Or sometimes even when it's like, let's play a game. Sometimes a game can be good. That can be quality time. But other times a game is just like a distraction. It's like I could play games with strangers. I want to sit here and bond with my fellow humans. I guess games can do that. I guess I just don't like fun, is what I'm trying to say. No fun, Frank. I guess also, since I get burned out from being around people, for me to spend time with someone else is kind of like a big deal for me. It's not that big of a deal, but it's like not something that I do naturally. It's a currency that has a bit more value than than it might have for someone who is very extroverted and spends a lot of time with a lot of people anyway. So those are my 5 love languages in reverse order. I'm curious to see what you all got. Again, the link is in the description. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you again real soon. Stay cool and attractive.